TLDR. My ex-partner ended our relationship while I was undergoing cancer treatment, citing that she didn't want to care for someone so ill. I later discovered she had been unfaithful during that time. When I realized she had never paid for the home improvement projects I did on her house, I took legal action to recover the costs, which affected her ability to sell her home and move as planned. Years later, when she reached out, I reminded her of why we ended. This happened 4 years ago, so the sting is gone. We dated for 4 years and had what I thought was a great relationship. We were both well-established professionals who owned homes in the same neighborhood. Her daughter was 11, and mine was 16 when we met. We had planned to get married and build a house together. We planned this because she had been diagnosed with a neurological disease that would eventually require her to use a wheelchair, so we needed something accessible. During the planning stages, I began doing construction projects on her home to increase the resale value. I invested roughly $30,000 into the home, running everything through my side construction business for tax and resale purposes. We had a contract that payment would be made upon the sale of the home. I produced invoices for every project, but never pushed for payment because of our plans. 6 months later, I began feeling ill. I had trouble eating and felt constantly exhausted. My abdomen was swollen, which was odd because we were both very healthy. I went to the doctor and began having tests done. During this time, she began having cognitive issues, and the stress of her position was difficult for her, so she took a lower-paying role inside her company. After a month of tests and a biopsy, it was discovered that I had a tumor in my stomach and would need to begin chemotherapy. The treatments made me extremely ill. She was spending time helping around my place on the weekends and staying over frequently. At this point, I suggested that we put one of our houses on the market and move in together until the new house was built. I had good insurance, so using that, coupled with the sale of one of our houses, would help us financially and ease the stress on her. Shortly after this, she became extremely distant. She stopped helping me with my treatments and stopped staying over. She then ended things with a message that will forever be burned into my psyche. I love you, but I can't see myself taking care of someone this sick in the long term, and I don't think we should see each other any longer. It broke me. This was the first woman I had opened up to and planned a life with since my wife passed away. However, I tried to be mature about it. I forced myself to accept the situation. The next day, I gathered all of her things, packed them, and took them to her house to leave on the back porch while she was at work, to avoid any awkward exchanges. Walking around the back, I sat down a box and saw her in her living room with a man that she had introduced to me as a lifelong friend. I had socialized with this man and his partner on many occasions. I never spoke of the incident with her, and simply sent a message explaining that I would leave her things on my porch for her to pick up. I discovered 8 or 9 months later that they had broken up because he admitted he had been involved with my partner, dating back to about the time we were finishing plans on the new home. I was hurt and angry. At this point, I had finished my treatments and was feeling healthier. I was going through some paperwork when I ran across the file that contained $32,680 in unpaid, long overdue invoices. I sent them to my attorney to begin lien proceedings on the home. It turned out she was just about to put her house on the market. With interest accumulated over 19 months, the total was significant. That, along with the legal agreement to settle the costs upon the sale of the house and attorney fees, left her with a much smaller profit after settling her mortgage. She had to back out of the purchase of another home and moved in with her family. She also had to leave her job and begin receiving disability benefits. I ran into her a little over a year ago, and she looked as if she had aged significantly and was in the wheelchair we had once talked about. We chatted cordially but briefly, and I went on with my day. A few days later, her younger daughter reached out to see if we could catch up. I gave a vague answer, thanked her, and went on with my day. The ex then called me a week or so later and began apologizing for leaving me as she did. I was cordial but short. I thanked her for calling and hung up. She began texting, and this went on for several weeks until she asked if I could ever see us rekindling what we had. To which I replied, I can't see myself taking care of someone so sick in the long term. Remember the box on your back porch? Did you think that lifelong friend brought that over to you from my house? Good luck to you. Goodbye. TLDR. My partner broke up with me due to my health issues, so I enforced the payment of the home improvement invoices I had previously done for her, which impacted her financial plans. Later, when she tried to reconcile, I reminded her of her own words and her past actions. I sometimes feel guilt over this, but not much and not often.